If you're new here, I want to introduce you to Kevin. This is our Autopilot drive motor. He's been acting up and he needs to get fixed. We found a place we can take him here in St. Lucia. We're going to pull him out this morning and drop him off, and hopefully we'll get him back and he'll be 100%. Okay, so we're back at the dinghy. Dropped Kevin off. He's gone in for surgery. They're gonna give us a call when he gets out and in recovery. Yep.
We're nervous, but I feel like he's in good hands.
I do too. So fingers crossed everything comes out okay.
Yep.
Coming back to this place. This is
so pretty. Epic. Absolutely epic.
Unreal.
Okay, so it finally happened. I've been worried about this day since we got on the boat and we were headed down to the Bahamas. And we finally have a roach. And I'm really grossed out. I turned on the light and it was up in that corner right there and I didn't know what it was. I sleep right here. Josh is right there. And the roach is right there. I don't think I can sleep tonight. So gross. Luckily we have roach traps. So they are now put out. But I'm really grossed out. So this just happened.
Look what I found. Ant and roach germ killer plus. Kills up to 12 weeks. And it's got a fresh floral scent.
So that's exciting.
I'm gonna spray some stuff. Okay?
Ah, baby!
I better wipe that.
Yeah.
You don't mind. Grab me a cloth.
Yeah.
Please.
So in the process of the roach debacle, we cleaned everything, we sprayed it all down with the only killer that we had on the boat, and we felt that it was clean after that. We cleaned all the hatches that had food compartments and all that kind of stuff, and everything was great. I was sitting in the settee and Josh says, "Don't move." And of course, what do? I scream and I move. And this little black bugger came scurrying across the floor. So what we did not solve the situation. Of course, we got on YouTube and Googler right away to see what are the other things that we could do. And we made homemade roach traps. So we had these all over the place. It's duct tape, peanut butter. We had duct tape and sugar, all of that kind of stuff, and it kind of worked because it did bring the roach in, but it wasn't sticky enough for it to stay on. So you could see that it had moved, it had worked its little butt off to get off the tape, and then it got off. So then we had to get back to the drawing board and find out the actual item that would get rid of it completely and keep our boat safe.
We have done a lot of reading and been hyper vigilant about keeping pests off the boat. We're very, very careful. We read lots and lots about this before we even started this journey, and neither one of us wanted to have an issue like we're having right now. We saw our first one on here and we started doing a lot of research on how to deal with it, where they come from, and how to get rid of them. One of the articles I read basically said, burn the boat, sell the boat, take it to a super cold climate so everything on board freezes. None of those are options. So the real thing is keeping the things clean, washing stuff that comes on board, vegetables, things like that. We found actually, doing some research, that you can actually bring them on board just from walking. So you can walk across the eggs, they can be on your shoes, you come in, you put your shoes where you keep your shoes, guess what? You just brought roaches onto the boat. So I guess you have to be a little more hyper vigilant, because that's something I never even thought about. We've done things like been really careful with cardboard and paper and stuff. So that said, now we got to deal with preventative and making sure that they're exterminated. The number one thing that we found out after all the reading and research and stuff that we've done in the last couple of days is boric acid. The way boric acid works is we clean everything, we'll clean all the holds, clean all the areas where they might hide or find food and things like that. Clean the area, and then you dust the area with it. Put everything back. When the roaches walk across the dust, it gets on their feet and their antennas and stuff, they end up ingesting it, they're dead. So it is the true #1 way to rid them on your boat and to keep them off your boat. So every now and then we're just gonna have to do the same thing. Clean out the hatches, clean the holds, get under the beds, make sure everything's good, dust the area with boric acid again. It's a preventative maintenance thing. It's also a great way to make sure that if you get eggs and you actually have a hatch or anything, that it kills them instantly. So that's what we're doing today. It's a hot, sweaty mess, and we're getting to work. This is the boric acid. It's hard to find when you actually are in the tropics looking for them, despite the fact that it's the only way to really rid yourself of roaches. Sprays stink, bombs and fumigation doesn't work. This is the only way to go.
The nice thing about that stuff is it will last. As long as it doesn't get wet, it will stay, it'll stay in the area forever, so it's perfect. Another thing is it is safe, so for like pets and all of that kind of stuff, it's not as harsh as putting like traps out and that sort of thing, or poison. So it's something that's safe for your family, and it's only bad for roaches, ants, and mice.
This is a lot of work because every one of our storage compartments is stuffered, completely stuffed. And so we have to pull everything out. Tara's gone through and vacuumed everything just to make sure anything loose is out. And I'm going around with a bleach water solution, spraying everything and wiping everything down. Then we let it dry, we put the boric acid in, and then we can put all of our stuff back in there. It smells like a swimming pool. You can see everything's just got a light dusting of it now. All throughout back here.
Why is it no matter what we are working on the boat, it always takes on this form? It's just a disaster in here, as always. So really, all in all, what it comes down to is we needed a good reason to do a spring cleaning on our house to make sure that all of our hatches were totally clean and we have got rid of any garbage that was in it. So thank you, Mr. Roach. We totally appreciate you for coming to visit us on our boat. Please never ever come back again. And we are now clean. Our garage has been cluttering crap for months. I think since we got in the middle of our Bahamas journey. And it's good. We're now getting it all cleaned out. It's gonna look so pretty in here.
It is. You know what's good though? Is we always have a fan going in here, and we keep everything dry when we put it back. And whether it's this side or the other side.
Too bright.
Sorry. Whether it's this side or the other side, we've been cleaning. I haven't found one spot of mildew or mold anywhere.
I know, isn't that awesome?
That's super good.
Yeah.
But
pretty happy about
using
that.
a bleach water mixture right now, and we're hitting everything anyway, so if there is any mold spores or anything, it's all gonna be dead anyway. But there hasn't been one sign of it. I love that.
Me too.
That's good.
Yay, clean boat.
Exciting news, we just got the call. Kevin's out of surgery, he's in recovery, he's doing well.
Doing well.
So we're gonna go back and pick him up. We're so excited. We're also excited that if you bring your boat paperwork here, you are exempt from paying tax.
Which is very nice.
Which is very nice. So we're gonna go get Kevin back
Mm-hmm.
and then get back to our giant mess that's going on here. Hey?
Crazy.
Oh, I'm so excited. I hope he's doing so good.
Me too. He's gonna be a brand new Autopilot.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's good. So recertified. Let's go. So we pulled the drive unit out this morning. When we took it apart last time, we could tell that actually some of the cogs were really worn inside it. There's a planetary gear system, and they were super sloppy in there. And of course, we didn't have access to those parts. We found a place here in St. Lucia, and the guy actually had the parts in stock to rebuild it. So we took him out this morning, dropped him off. He called us this afternoon, and our drive unit is ready to get reinstalled. I'm gonna put that back in. And it's so cool because when I pulled it out, I could just grab the sprocket and pull it back and forth, and it probably had a 1.5 inches of free play in it, and now it's solid. Like it just there's no movement, so we know it's all fixed and it's going to be fantastic. We rely on that thing so much. It's so hard to steer in following seas or in certain wind conditions and stuff. Sometimes we overtax it and we know we need to shut it off and hand steer for a bit, but it's such a useful tool. It's the third member of this sailing team that we have, and it's so important that you have a working autopilot. We know lots of people that have had it conk out on them and they've had to go, you know, 1,000, 2,000 miles without it, and they're exhausted, and I can totally understand why. So I'm gonna put him back in. Tamara's finishing up with their other project for the day that we had going on, and it's almost sundowner time, right, baby? Whoop, whoop. She's still giving her. So anyway, let's go time. He's back! Let's dance!
Oops, we forgot something. It's important that we lock it up.
More important, you bring the key with you.
Yes. Super secret key, check.
We're still in St. Lucia and we're loving it here. But there's a couple things that have happened in the last 24 hours that have kind of
Stressed us out.
It changed the day, the mood.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit of a somber day now, and we'll talk to you about it.
Let's talk about it. We're still in Rodney Bay. You can see it's an overcast day. Actually, the last 3 days we've had
rain and
wind, and it's been really inclement weather to say
Yeah.
the least. But we've been watching systems change and build and stuff. And this morning they issued the first tropical storm alert, basically coming through this region. So there's a tropical depression. It's heading this way in about a week. It looks like right now it's tracking north of here. It'll probably hit Guadalupe or Dominica. We're still in a good position here to get south, so that kind of ignited things for us a bit. That
it's the buzz, it's the talk of the town. We've gotten messages from everybody and messaged everybody. Have you seen what's happening? Do you see what's going on today? Because we have a lot of friends that are still up in St. Thomas, BVI's, in St. Martin.
Yeah.
They've got a long way to come down, and they're just north of where this is going to hit, but they know that they have to get down here. And as you know and you've seen, the sea state hasn't been the best over the last little bit in the tiny hops that we've been doing lately.
Yeah, and we've been lucky. We've been able to do island hop to island hop, so they're not crazy long, trips. And that's kind of what our plan was all along, and we still want to continue. So that said, we have about a week to get south.
Yes.
So we were starting to talk about that, and then something else changed.
We were planning on touring around the majority of St. Lucia here and really taking our time for once, because we are low enough down that we don't have to worry about the stresses of being in the hurricane storm. So that's all come to a halt.
We rolled into the anchorage here, and we picked Rodney Bay. It had some really good reviews and stuff, and that's one of the neat things that you can do. You can go into Active Captain, you can see reviews, recent ones, past ones, places that have had security issues and stuff. South of here, there are several places that within the last year, people have been boarded and held at knife point, robbed.
Along the way, as we've been cruising, we've been making sure that we're joining all of the Facebook groups for the location that we're going to, so that we know what events are coming up, what the customs are, check-in rules, regulations, and any security safety things that we need to know of. Well, the one for St. Lucia had a big PSA announcement that came up this morning. One of the gentlemen in one of the bays south of us got attacked last night. 2 men boarded his boat, held him at knife point, and robbed him blind. So now we're freaked out.
So what this does to us is actually just throws fear and concern out there. We actually had that for the first time when we arrived here because of all of the things that we read of people being boarded and stuff. Nothing in the last year had shown up, but this one did. So when we first got here, we actually looked at our boat and how can we make it safer, add security to it, how can we lock ourselves in from the inside. We didn't have the ability to do that a couple days ago. Bought some hardware, we've changed a few things, kind of looked at some ideas of what happens if we do get boarded? What are we gonna do? Do we have a plan? How do we fight back? How do we protect ourselves? We've thought hard about this stuff, and it's kind of scary to think about it, you know? I don't want to get into a tussle with anybody. Actually, being at knife point with someone else on your boat, I don't want to get injured. I don't want to injure someone else. It's a scary feeling.
And the worst part about it is it's now in our heads where it wasn't before. It's something that is in the forefront of our minds where we weren't, you know, you think of it and you know it's a possibility, but it's not like it was an actual could happen. And I don't like that.
No, it's freaky.
Yeah.
It's very freaky. So that said, we're gonna cut things short for 2 reasons in St. Lucia. As much as we've loved it here, we can't get over how polite and awesome everyone is, and it's hard to imagine that anyone would have any violence towards any cruisers and stuff. But between the weather and now this incident, we feel like it's just the universe saying, okay,
it's time to go.
Time to move on.
So we go.